This is an Evans Power Cycle. They're made in Rochester, New York. This is a 120cc. Horsepower is roughly about 1.5 horsepower. This one that I'll be running here shortly is going to be sold as a kit. So that will include the sheave, which is over here. That's the belt sheave that'll fit the 26 or 28 inch rim. And then the two tubes that you see down there, the black ones, are actually the exhaust pipes themselves. And this particular Evans, as with all of them, was actually only made from about 1920 to 24. And there was two models, although everything is pretty much the same except the carburation. And this is a 1922, so it is a little newer model, in that being that the carb is, they never had this made by anybody else or any contractors but themselves. So it's their own design of carb. And really what it is, the intake port that you can't see is right on the other side of this tube. And then the way it's controlled is actually a slide valve, which is nothing more than looking like a pipe inside of a pipe. So as it is being pulled forward, it eventually blocks the ports. And when you release it, it exposes the port, allowing it to go completely through the tube, the inner tube itself. And this up here is actually the main jet. It's a pretty roughly set, but it's about as close as you can ever get it. When you get it running, it's about there where the idle are wide open. This is actually what they call a float tickler. When it's pushed down, it actually overrides the float fuel in there now, and then this actually floods it. This is the physical choke in itself. When it's pushed in all the way, it blocks that chamber from the intake, and that out is open. Let's see, the interesting part of the way these engines are designed, and by the way, this kit, when it's all complete, is actually only 20 pounds, where when they made their own bike for this, which I don't have, I'm only selling this as a kit, that actually was a total of 70 pound weight. And then the unique part of their system, the way they designed that, and it's basically because of the outside mag they used, where they didn't use a flywheel style mag. Then they had to pick up the drive portion of that, which is a chain drive that you can see right here. And then it's the inner part of it is then actually the belt drive itself, the output side of it, V-belt. So you can, and then it's cam operated in there. That's only to adjust the chain in itself. But you can plainly see that if you are going to change a belt on here and it was a V-belt with no link to separate it, it would be difficult, but it can be done, because that meaning that you'd have to remove the flywheel and then pull the jack shaft out of there. You would lose your time. So putting it back with the belt on, you'd have to retime it. It's quite a job. So what the company itself did, and of course that's long gone now because of the age of the belt, they actually took the V-belt in itself and pinned or linked it in one spot. So now, because of the link belts that are made, then you can actually separate that, so it becomes very easy to change. The throttles kind of speaks for itself, although the handlebars, they had a twist grip style throttle, which I don't have. This is pretty much close to what the H-Whizzers had and the Johnson Motor Wheels used. So the one lever, which is the bottom one here, is the throttle. The top one and the short one is actually the timing, which is not used very often. And that's for retarding and advance the mag in itself. And these bags are valuable in itself. You can hardly ever find them when you're looking for them. And that's because it's made by Bosch. I think it's an F1 series. And it's also because of the moving timer. And it's the direction also because it's anti-clockwise. That pretty much does it. I guess we probably go into starting it up now.